time for our Q&A session now. We've already had some questions come in, so we'll start with those even before we started this webinar. The first question, I think we've kind of answered, from Lauren at Lauren Love's blog. Does it hurt as much as waxing? How effective is it in the long term? And are there any before and after photos? Well, I find it didn't hurt. Do you find anybody with perhaps different skin tones thinks it hurts?
Generally, it's totally, pain-free. I wouldn't say it's totally for everybody. You feel a warmth. Where there is deep, dark follicular growth, they may feel this mild pink.
Yes.
But we've had time again people tell us how comfortable it is for them to use because of the energy control. It's much more.
So do they find it? I mean, she says, does it hurt as much as waxing, for
Definitely
instance?
not. So to jump in there and say absolutely not.
And that's on any part of the body? Because there are, as we girls know, some parts hurt more than others.
Yes, this is true. There are sensitive areas. The face is always considered to be a sensitive area, and certainly sometimes underarms can be, but never ever.
Does it hurt
anything
like
as waxing?
Okay.
Not at all.
And how effective do you find it in the long term?
Long term, it's extremely effective. Obviously, certain things will change hormonally. We may find ourselves getting a small regrowth, but once it's actually been treated and we've got what we want, which is the achievement of paint our hair free, you will never have that same problem again, unless of course you have a substantial hormonal change. Okay. In which case then
you treat again.
Said, you would just treat again. You've got the device. Why wouldn't you?
So are there no indications that you've treated it too much? Can you just keep going if it comes back because there are hormonal changes?
There is no risk in repeat treatment. Hair on our bodies at different locations exists in 3 phases, not wanting to be overly scientific, telogen, anagen and catagen. So hair grows, rests and falls out. So sometimes new hair develops in a region and sometimes you've treated when a particular follicle is dormant. So there may be...
You'd have to go back again?
You may have to go back again to treat.
So does it only work when the hair is actually growing?
In
one of the 3 phases?
Yes, it only works when the hair is in the telogen phase, growth phase. Okay. But predominantly the hairs at any locations are in that phase. Okay,
so is that why you have to go back and retreat several times to make sure you catch it in that period?
You catch every hair in that area in that phase.
Okay. And Laura also wants to know, are there before and after photos on your website?
Not yet, but there will be. Yeah, we literally within 24 hours we've got a number of new shots. Now, we've just done a long-term clinical study, and this was with over 100 people, and the long-term results of that, this is 12 months after treatment, we have seen figures that are substantially improved on what we've seen in the industry so far. So along with that trial, we've got some real clinical endorsements. And from there, we've got absolutely hundreds of photos, and we're just sort of looking to do a nice selection because we only launched the product, next Monday officially. Although we've
this new SmoothSkin.
So the device is not formally in market yet.
Yeah.
So there's just some additional sort of feedback like this is fantastic. So we'll be uploading some additional pictures by the weekend.
And those will be on the iPulse website?
Yes, ipulse.co.uk.
And there'll be before and after pictures on that?
Yes.
Okay. Second question we've given, this is from Lena at Makeup to Make Out. Lena says, I've got a couple of questions I'd like to submit if that's okay. The first is from a reader of Lena's who has a previous model of SmoothSkin. She wants to know, can you shave in between weekly treatments, or does it always have to be directly before treatment and only then? Because you were saying about shaving.
No, definitely. Obviously, most people don't want to have that regrowth or when the hair hasn't quite dropped out. So shaving is really good. We do not recommend waxing or that type of treatment when the hair is being pulled out. We want a natural growth and we want to ensure that the hair that is regrowing is not being plucked or tweezed. That's really important because, as I said to you before, we're using that hair as a conductor to get the energy to the root so it can be successfully treated in the correct growing stage.
Okay. Do you want to take that question as well, Mark?
I think Anita's absolutely correct. shaving in between is not a problem. It's and what we want to do is retain as much of the natural process as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
Could I jump
Yes,
in?
of course you can.
Because I think this might be interesting
Okay.
to the business. Ladies are very concerned about facial hair.
Yes.
And when you mention a razor to a lady, she sort of tends to think, can't
Yes.
possibly shave. There are some very, very good little devices for those ladies who are concerned. It is a myth that it makes it grow more. That is an actual myth.
Because you hear the myth that it grows back thicker, it grows back
No,
coarser,
well,
it grows back twice as thick.
It grows back
Blunter,
blunter.
which makes you think it's worse.
Yes. But
That's because you've taken the end off.
that's
presumably.
right. And
Okay.
if you were to use a razor, it becomes blunt. That's why I've always had such difficulty. But if they use one of these little beauty trimmers, they're especially really made for ladies who have facial hair,
Yeah.
and they're very discreet. They're like a pen. You can
Yes.
buy them in most stores and certainly in pharmacies, and they can be kept in your handbag. So keeping the hair down between treatments is really
It's-
important.
Right, and quite easy.
Quite so easy. It's
Okay.
not suitable for other areas because it's very fine.
It's very fine.
little blade.
Okay. The second question from Lena's reader, I think. This is a technical question, so I think this is for you, Mug. How many joules or light energy levels are transmitted in this new model, and how does it compare to professional levels? She goes on to say it claims to be the most powerful IPL system currently on the market, although there's a pricier one called E1 IPL. There's 3 questions here, so we'll start with the first 2. How many joules light energy are transmitted in this new model, and how does it compare to professional levels?
The answer needs to be a little more complicated. It's not a yes or no answer because you have to select the joules to be the most appropriate energy for that skin type. You also need to remember, as we said earlier, that having identified the skin type with the skin tone sensor, then you need to adjust the parameters, which the machine does automatically for that skin type. But the joules is 7 joules per centimetre squared, so it isn't the joules, it's how many joules per unit area.
Right.
So it's energy density, so it's 7 joules per centimetre squared. But it's the sophistication and the intelligence of those joules that's critical. So just measuring the joules
On its own,
is not sufficient.
Okay.
You need to understand that the energy is in the right colour band, right wavelength spectrum, and in the right time profile to achieve the necessary suppression of hair.
Okay. And how does that compare to professional levels then?
It's lower than professional levels, but our studies have indicated that the efficacy with this machine compares very, very favourably. Indeed, Mark might comment that even better than some of the professional work we've done.
Okay, and is that why is that? If the
Because
professional levels are higher?
Because the technology in defining all 3 parameters
Okay.
has advanced. So it's a combination of the 3.
Right, not just the joules.
Not just the
Okay.
joules. It would be inaccurate to assume that that's the only measurement that matters.
Right, okay. Looking to see, there's some questions coming in. Grunge Betty says, I'm assuming, hang on, how long, if using on the lowest setting, would you have to use it to gain permanent results, as I'm assuming the visible results in 4 treatments is only for the highest setting?
That's not the case.
Okay.
The case is, in fact, the highest setting is comparable for the skin tone. The actual settings that are computed or are at the output of these settings depends on the skin tone.
Right.
The efficacy will be just as good for skin tone if you have a lot of melanin in your skin and you were having to use 4 or 5.
Yes.
The efficacy would still be the same.
Right.
It's just that the way the device has been put together, and I'm sure that the gentleman will tell us that, is that it still works.
Right.
Even
On the lowest
same-
setting.
Yes.
So when
This is really to ensure the correct use and the correct amount of energy
Yes.
that goes into that hair follicle
Yeah.
also will not be absorbed too much by the surrounding tissue.
Okay.
And that's why the device now is able to treat darker skin tones.
Okay. So the lowest setting would be for darker skin tones or lighter
The
skin
lowest
tones?
setting, which is in fact such a good question.
Is that 1 or 5?
No, it's 5.
It's 5.
Yes.
So that's for darker skin
That's for
tones.
darker skin tones.
Okay.
If I was to actually, I'll just demonstrate something
Okay.
to you, shall I, if I may? If I put that on your
Yeah.
lamp there, it will tell me that you can't use the device.
Because it's not skin.
Certainly you wouldn't have skin.
No.
That can't.
No.
But what it does tell you is that the darker the skin, and we certainly proved that when I did this
Yes.
to you,
Yes.
and it went to 1.
Yes.
And when I turned your arm over
Yes.
and went there,
Yes.
it went up to 3.
Yes.
So the darker the skin, and if I look at mine, I've sort of just come back from holiday, it's
4.
showing 4.
Right.
So a tan is really, it's important
Yeah.
to get the right tone using the intelligent tone.
And does this work on no matter what your ethnicity? So if you're black skin,
No, black skin will probably show as red.
as
The
red, because
Melanin,
it's too dark.
yes, the melanin in black skin is in the desquamating cells, which
Right.
is higher up in the surface of the skin.
Yeah.
Therefore, it would likely pick up that there's too much melanin in the skin.
Okay.
So the device will tell you.
Okay.
So that is probably the only exclusion.
So, but Grunge Betty's obviously talking about darker skin because she
Yes.
mentions the lowest setting. And she says, how long, if using it on the lowest setting, would you have to use it to gain permanent results, roughly?
Well, in my opinion, it's still these 6 to 12 weeks that we say. I don't see there's any difference in that at all, because providing you catch the hair in the correct growing phase, which
Yes.
actually is anagen, where it's attached to the root,
Right.
you should get the results.
Okay.
The differences, of course, is the anagen phase is in different parts of the body will
At
be in a
different
different
times.
phase. Yeah.
Right.
So this is why we say do between 6 and 12 treatments.
Okay.
The continuity is quite important.
All
Can
right.
I just
Of course you
add, Mike? I think what a common sort of misunderstanding is you have to have a certain amount of energy at a certain time, and the more energy the better, and that's not the case. And I think what we have proved, and the development of the skin tone sensor is key to this, is that if you deliver the right energy at the right time, you will get the best results. Okay, and I think what we are saying, and what we've said all along, is because of our kind of heritage and our clinical expertise, we've been able to put just that upper limit of energy in because we've got additional safety features. So things like gel, that allows you to repeat a salon process, right? That allows you to have more comfort, so you could treat a bigger area like a leg more comfortably, because you won't deny, right, after 30 or 40 shots, it does warm up and it can become uncomfortable if you're not putting the right amount of gel on and if you're not treating at the right actual treatment setting, which is where the skin tone sensor is absolutely ideal. What we used to find...
So are you saying it's less likely to hurt because it's got the right skin setting?
That's one of the factors. The second would be the gel, and the third would be what Mark was talking about earlier, the control of that pulse. We time a certain amount of almost milliseconds space, and it differs between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
So that control of that pulse coming in actually makes it safer, but allows us to get at the upper end of the energy. And I saw the question about the E1, which is a really
Yes.
great question.
Well, I'll read the question because I didn't
Right.
get a chance to read the whole question, so we know what Lauren from Lauren Love's blog meant. She says, it claims to be the most powerful IPL system currently on the market. However, although much pricier, E1 IPL, again claims, she says in brackets, to transmit over 12 joules per centimetre squared. Have you compared your product against E1? If you did, how did it fare?
Okay, multi-part question.
Yes.
So, first part of the question is, yes, it is a really great product, and it does emit up to 12 joules. Now, what we would not consider this almost like a home use product. It's almost like a hybrid. I'd say it's like a semi-professional product. People can buy it online, and there are a number of safety features within the device. What I will say is that it doesn't have the skin tone measurement, so it still allows the user to get it wrong and maybe put in less energy. The other thing is that...
Which would mean it's less effective
Exactly.
or more dangerous? What do you...
Both. So if you're a dark skin and you put in more energy than you ought to have, then that would create danger. But if you're putting in less energy, you're not going to see results. I'm not denying this is a great product. And you
But
will see
presumably
results.
that's on the market because it's safe to use, though.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that potentially, if they couldn't go up and have more energy going in, they could certainly put less in. So, but the key point with this is this product, to get to our equivalent of 100,000 shots, which is what we recommend is a lifetime of shots for a user, you'd have to spend over £4,000 to buy an E1 and the 30 cartridges that come with it. So you might as well go to a salon.
You'll have to explain this to me. So it's got cartridges?
So the E1 comes with a replaceable head.
Right.
Right, now we've got a fixed handset that comes with 100,000 shots, which is another first for our
So that's
product.
a finite amount of shots?
Yes.
Okay.
So you start at 100,000, then you go down every time you use it.
Okay.
So we would, on a 12-weekly regime and then monthly maintenance after it, we've worked out that the device would last between 5 and 6 years, which would be more than enough to remove any unwanted hair, in our opinion. With the E1, they have 3,000 shots.
And that's got how many again?
100,000.
And they've got 3,000?
Yeah.
Per cartridge? Or
Per
per device?
cartridge.
Per
So if you buy the device, you get a cartridge with it,
Okay.
£1,300 up front,
Okay.
and then £90 per cartridge. So to get 100,000, there's roughly 32 or 33 cartridges, just under £3,000 for the cartridges, and a device. That is a serious amount of cash that
Right.
you could go and have a number of salon treatments, or, as some people might choose to have that device. It's a great question, great device. Compare £4,500 to £299. And the other question was, have we compared it? Yes, and we've seen similar results.
Okay. But if somebody wanted just to do a small area and they just wanted one cartridge, it might work for them, possibly?
I'm sure it would work for them, yeah.
Okay.
Very expensive, yeah.
All right.
Great.
But this one doesn't need anything replacing. That's a major difference. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. We
Okay.
believe that 100,000 shots used properly on the recommended regime,
Right.
catching the hair at the right stage and doing it in the right way
Okay.
should last and remove all the unwanted hair.
Her next question, what are the pros and cons of either? I think you've just probably answered that
Okay.
question, actually. Let's see who else we've got putting questions through. They're a bit slow coming through at the moment because I think we've got a slight technical delay, but we've had various other ones. You've had several other models before, says one blogger. Why is this one different? Because this is the third one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's
Shall I
different
do that?
about this one?
Okay, well this we would call it our most advanced, technologically most intelligent device. In 2009, when we brought out the original first home use IPL, the SmoothSkin original, we were only able to treat on 3 skin tones. We only had 10,000 shots and it was very slow. The second device that we brought out in 2011, the SmoothSkin Plus, we had our first version of the skin tone sensor, but it was separate. So you could still choose your skin and look at it and say, oh, I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, but you had to manually select. So there was still that room for an error. And it was only 20,000 shots. I mean, at that time in the market, that was as much as could be done.
Technically speaking.
Technically speaking
Okay.
now, the speed of flash rate is quicker, so it's at 4 seconds.
What
not
does that
6.
mean?
So between every flash, you have to wait
Right.
a certain amount of time. Now you can go very quick, but you have to have less energy. Or you
Right.
go with the right amount of energy at the right time, and it's roughly a 4-second flash rate.
Right.
But the other two key improvements with this product, and above any other product we've done, is that it's the first time we've gone up to 5 skin tones. So we went from 3 up to 4 in the last product, and now we're up to 5 skin tones, pretty much as far as you get in terms of ability to treat the hair. And also then the 100,000 shots. So 3 pretty key differences.
Okay. So a question for me then. So if you do 5 different skin tones and you're on the darker side, how do you know if this goes high enough for you?
It'll tell you.
After you've bought it. So is there a way of telling before you buy it?
Yeah, on the packaging there is a skin tone chart.
A colour chart.
There's a colour chart on the packaging.
Okay.
There's also a colour chart on the website. So if you're at home researching, what I'd advise is that this is available only in Boots. Okay.
Right.
270 stockists, and the stockist list is on our website.
Yes.
There are what we call dummy units on shelf at each of these stockists, which have the unit. They wouldn't be able to fire any shots or flashes, but the skin tone sensor works. And you could go and ask for the electrical beauty staff in Boots are...
Because you train those staff,
I
don't
do,
you?
yes.
Because if I had a darker skin tone and I bought one of these, took it home, and I paid for it and it didn't work because I was too dark, I'd be pretty cross.
Well, Boots actually operate an extremely good policy of looking after you. But all the girls and chaps, because he's male EBCs, electrical beauty consultants, they are being trained, and I'm in processes at the moment because this is really quite exciting. It's attached, as Mark said, to the device, the dummy device, But we also train the electrical beauty consultants. Whilst they can demonstrate this, we also tell them they should advise their customer that when they're working on other areas that may be darker, they must check it. But this would give them an idea as to whether they're suitable. I was in store in Swansea yesterday, and the manager there came to meet me, which was very nice, along with the electrical beauty consultants. And we tested his skin, but his skin is very dark. He's from an African country, and it went to red. It went to red. So I said it wouldn't be suitable, unfortunately. And he was very funny about it. Not funny in a nice way. But it does show
it means you're not going to end up spending money and then getting it home and finding you can't use it.
No, well that's the thing.
Because that would make most people pretty cross. Okay, so you can check. What's so special about iPulse technology, says this blogger? What's so special about it then?
We've got a rich heritage of understanding the science, understanding how light interacts with the human body, and we have a rich heritage of understanding the technology. What is unique here is the digital control, the way in which we allow the flash to emerge from the system is absolutely controlled, not only in energy, but in how consistent that energy is throughout the pulse, and how consistent the wavelength is. The spectrum that's emitted is controlled absolutely throughout the pulse. And that's what's unique about the technology. And we know enough science to tailor that for the application.
Okay. Why do I need to use a gel, is this question. No one else does. So does this mean the other ones on the market, they don't use gels?
Well, all professional salons and clinics use gel. It's a conductive activator.
And what about, I think this question is about home use devices. It says nobody else does, so why does iPulse need a gel?
Well, the output energy, the controlled output energy in our system is quite great, and we feel that the gel definitely enhances the treatment. With some of the other devices, the output energy is not quite so, and therefore they may not feel, for whatever reason, that they need to use the gel because the energy is so much lower.
And with lower energy, does that mean it's less effective or just different?
Well, I mean, one has to talk about technology, and probably the team who've done all research, and particularly Professor Mark Clement, will probably know that
we'll ask him that.
If they're not using gel, it's generally because they don't have the same energy output.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Probably more to it as
I think Anita knows more than I do, and I think you might have corrected an error I made earlier, because I think I said that telogen is the growth phase. So let me correct
and I wasn't going to jump in there.
Thank you. I saw the glances. It's the anagen that's the growth phase, and I apologise if I made that error. But if you can imagine the footprint, then you need to be absolutely sure that every square millimetre of that footprint is below, is appropriately exposed to the three parameters.
By footprint, you mean the area being treated?
The stamp, so to speak.
Okay.
Is this.
Okay.
And what we've observed with some technologies is that's not uniform. So we've invested hugely to ensure that that's uniform. But our advice is we want to give an absolutely efficacious product. We want a product that customers are absolutely satisfied with the outcome and is absolutely safe. And in our opinion, the gel adds to that experience. And whilst you might be able to use it without the gel, it is certainly far more, the output is far below the danger threshold. There is no danger of any side effect with the gel, and the result is very, very.
But you could use it without the gel if you had to?
If you had to, you could, and I might get a glance from my colleagues, but if you had to, you could.
But it doesn't work as well.
But it doesn't work as well.
In your experience, because you've used it on lots of people.
I've been using professional systems for over 14 years. And
because somebody might not want to buy the gel, but so If you can use it without, there needs to be a reason why you should use it.
The recommendation is, I mean, I've always said three elements, which I said earlier. First of all, it optically couples, which means it brings the light into the follicle, enhancing the treatment.
Yeah.
I think there was some data at some stage to say, with the professional machines and using this type of thing, that it enhanced the treatment by up to 7%.
Right.
With that in mind, that's one really strong reason. Secondly, cooling the skin.
Yes.
All light IPL systems, intense pulse light systems, will give off heat.
Yes.
The heat is then converted into energy.
And as Mark was saying, once you get to about, 30 shots, it starts to warm.
That's right.
So the gel presumably helps with that?
It does, and in fact, I'm sure some other bloggers are interested in knowing that the one gel comes with the pack.
Right.
And depending on the area that you're treating, you will need more gels. And that is fully available on boots.com and in Boots stores.
Okay. And finally, of course, you can see where you've been. But very quickly jumping
But that's
in.
quite important to know where you've been.
If I was treating your arm, not that we would, because you don't have any hair, but one of the little tips, and there's going to be lots of tips on the website, is a white pencil. This is a white coal pencil. If you were doing a large area, such as legs, or some ladies have arms, you would grid it and sectionalise the area, and then only apply the gel to the first section, and then take that gel off and discard it, and then apply fresh gel.
Okay.
And the reason is, if you were to apply gel to the whole of the arm,
you wouldn't know where you've been.
Well done, of course. But not only that, but by the time you'd fired the device,
This gel will be warm.
you've hit it right on the head. This gel will become quite thermalised. The heat of your skin would warm it. So
you wouldn't be doing a small section.
and also, if you're doing this in the privacy of your home, you might be sort of, watching something on the telly or want to go and make a cup of tea.
Yes.
So you would
Not
do
be
a small
covered in
section.
gel.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
Okay.
do small
That wouldn't be good.
sections so you know where you've been.
Okay. Right. So does that mean I won't ever have to shave or wax again? Is the next question. Ever?
In my opinion, it will be so unlikely that you will ever have to worry about whether you need to get your swimsuit on because the weather in Swansea is so lovely that you want to get out there because you would have done the job. We do recommend that you obviously monitor the situation, as I said earlier. Over a period of time, some small dormant follicles can produce. That's the nature of our body, the natural cell structures that can become productive. So you just keep an eye on things, and when one or two hairs come up, you just got your device and go and treat them without having the necessity of going and having a full treatment. Okay. You treat as you go.
Okay. Grunge Betty sent another question. I'd still like to know, Mark, she says, how many joules per centimetre squared the SmoothSkin Extra transmits, as I don't believe you gave a number.
Let me give a slightly complicated answer. As we said, there are 5 settings.
Yep.
And 5 being the darker skin,
and
1 being the lighter skin. The lighter skin can optimally accept a higher setting than the darker skin.
Right.
So at the higher setting, it's 10 joules per centimetre squared. The lower setting is at 7 joules per centimetre squared. But the reason the answer is complex is that other things change at the higher level and the lower level. The time domain changes as well. So the pulses are different at the lower setting to the higher setting. But the straightforward answer to the question is 10 and 7.
Right, okay. Joshy's Brian, I think this is. Have any of you used it? Does it work for men's facial hair? Yes, Boots would take it back. Would Boots take it back? Do they have a guarantee? So first of all, does it work for men's facial hair?
Well, we recommend that the actual facial beard area is not treated because the density of the hair in that area is very close. So firstly, the build-up of the heat in that area will be quite considerable. You can certainly treat the cheek area for men. Some men have hairs on their cheeks that they want to get rid of. And for those men who have razor rash on their necks, it's brilliant because and it's uncomfortable. If you're wearing a shirt and tie, you see quite a lot of men doing this and scratching.
Yes.
So you could treat that area, but the actual beard growth is slightly different in its formation. It's stimulated by androgen gonadal production, testosterone. Therefore, it's continuously growing, as the men will tell you. Treating it is a very complex situation. If you were to go ahead and treat it, there's possible outcomes. First of all, you would be very uncomfortable. The heat build-up is quite considerable. Secondly, it could become very patchy, which in my opinion, when I look at the gentleman to my right, would look terrible. I quite like the male pattern growth, it's normal.
Yeah.
There's another consideration as well. When you actually remove the beard as itself, it's a support structure for the male face. So one could imagine that possibly the skin or the shape of the face could actually become a little less male.
So
it could look a little bit more feminine.
Okay.
Now, for some people, they may want that, but I think most people don't want it.
Right,
Most men don't.
okay.
So, in our opinion, it is not the best area.
Okay, but you can treat away from the beard area?
Yes, you can. You can
So
do
what
the
about
cheeks.
eyebrows here?
Definitely not eyebrows.
Not eyebrows?
No. Eyebrows are known as asexual hair. They're the hair. That's the hair we're born with. And that's your eyelashes, eyebrows,
Okay.
scalp. And this hair should not be treated.
Right.
No eyebrow shaping whatsoever. It has a diverse way of growing.
Because I imagine a lot of men would think, oh, I've got a monobrow, I can get rid of this.
That is quite a difficult area to do because if you were to do the monobrow, as we call it, the hair could actually be picked up by the eyebrow, and once it's gone,
It's gone.
It's gone.
Could be gone for good.
More
So you
than
could lose more than you want to lose.
Yes, ladies who have tweezed their eyebrows
Too
in
much.
the past too
Yes.
much will know exactly what I'm talking about.
But you
So we
could do
don't
this.
recommend. Definitely the neck. Yes, that's.
But this is beard hair as well, isn't it?
It's, if you look at the follicular growth, it's not the same.
It's not.
It's not as dense.
Okay.
It's lighter usually in colour and density, and I'm not sure I should say this because I do know from experience with the iPulse professional system that people have noted that it's improved the skin on the area with when they've had ingrown hair.
Okay, so if you're a man and you weren't sure which bits you could treat, could you go in, the people you treat in Boots, if the man went into Boots and said, look, I've got this, is this suitable, can I treat this or this, would they be able to explain to them which bits they can and can't treat?
They're very highly trained girls and boys, and I'm very proud.
Okay.
We have trained them over many years.
Yes.
This is just coming back to what we do. And everything, of course, is in the manual.
Okay, but if you wanted to know whether or not to buy it in the first place, they will be able,
They will be
again,
able to
you
tell
don't want to
you.
spend the money if it's not right for you. Okay.
That's absolutely right.
Right, let's have a look at the next one. Happy to hear about the safety, says Josh's Brian. Readers are going to be asking, will this do a whole body, armpits, facial hair and lady garden? That's what it says here. So, who wants to take that one?
I can do it, or you can do it. No?
No, you should do it. I would say yes.
And you're
So
absolutely
it
right.
can do the whole body?
For most people, unless you are terribly tall and terribly covered, even if you are terribly tall and terribly covered, I do believe this 100,000 shots now will cover
The whole body?
Yes. Mostly our hair is zoned, isn't it? We have
Yes.
areas that we are really uncomfortable with. It's for personal use.
Yeah.
If you're sharing the device, then maybe 100,000 shots may not be
Yes.
quite so.
So this would do a whole body, even if you were very hairy?
In my opinion, you will get definitely underarms, what I call extended bikini line, face, tummy, legs. If you are completely covered from head to foot, I think that's another issue.
Yeah, but that's
And
quite
then you can
unusual.
ask me personally
But that's quite
online.
unusual,
Yes,
isn't it? All right. The other question from Josh's Brian is, would Boots take it back? Do they have a guarantee? So if it doesn't work for someone, can they bring it back?
Yeah, Boots are extremely generous in their returns policy, and I think up to 2 years after purchase, if you're not completely satisfied, Boots
Really?
will take the device back.
Okay, and you don't have to prove there's anything wrong with it, you're just not happy with it, you can take it back?
Yes.
Okay. Josh's Brian says, thank you. Hubby will be interested in neck hair and being different from the face, but the heat discomfort raises a question. How is it on bikini hair?
Well, it's the same principle. I would recommend that this gel goes into the refrigerator, not the freezer, because that will then encourage ice particles, which will deflect
crystallise,
light.
wouldn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it would. And that would deflect light,
Yeah.
so you get a good treatment. But if it's in the fridge, you'll probably find that the gel going on the skin is more uncomfortable than the actual treatment. Obviously,
So does it hurt when you do a bikini line?
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not.
Right.
And what I would like to say on that issue, and it again, read the manual, but one doesn't recommend to remove all the hair in that region for obvious reasons, although some ladies do like to be hair free, because once it's gone, and you can't change your mind.
So it's not like having it all taken off with a wax?
No.
Once it's gone, it's never going to come back?
It's unlikely to ever appear in the same format as
Okay.
when you started.
So you would urge caution on...
Well, I would.
Because sometimes it's fashionable to have, all of it
With
taken away.
respect, I'm going to say this in front of the
Go on,
camera. What looks good on a 20-something may not be quite appropriate for a lady of my age.
Okay.
So what we say is, it's nice to obviously have a nice, neat, tidy lady garment. And then if you wish to follow the trend, then you
Yes.
do other methods that are less.
But think carefully before you use this
Absolutely.
completely. Not because there's anything wrong with it or it doesn't hurt. It's just you might change your mind and
Well,
then
we must
you
also
can't.
remember that one should protect mucous membrane. So
Okay.
it's like
Yes.
this. You should be very cautious.
You have to be careful. Okay. Grange Betty says, I used it on my bikini line last night. Wasn't awful.
No, it's not.
That's what she says. It's a recommendation. It wasn't awful. No, Boots do bring it back. It was a statement, says Josh's Brian. I beg your pardon on that one. Also another question. How does SmoothSkin Extra compared to TRIA? Tria, okay. Is that another make of laser?
Yeah, it's another
Okay.
make. Well, and making the important point that ours is an IPL device, and Tria has a laser device, which is an entirely different sort of platform of technology. Again, another really good product. I'm not exactly sure what their pricing strategy is at the moment, but in terms of an IPL device, with the size of the glass block, which makes the treatments quicker, with the amount of energy that we were able to put in safely, with the amount of shots, there isn't a better value product in the market at £299.
Okay. I think that's the last of the blogger questions we've got. I think one of the main questions a lot of people ask, is does it hurt? You've answered that. Josh's Brian has just sent another one. Never heard a lot of that, but gather it's okay in the bikini area, but not all over, it says. Oh, and it's Joe, by the way. Sorry, Joe, I misread your name. Now, I know you're doing a 12-week challenge, which you mentioned to me earlier. So does somebody want to tell me about the 12-week challenge? What is it?
I'd like to talk about that. So we've, again, this is going to be run through our website, and this is a bit of an industry first. We want to communicate directly with our users. We want them to, and when they buy the product and when they open the pack, there's a small invite in there which takes them, it just gives the website address and tells them to log in, and we will take it from there. We will communicate directly with our users, and we will help them get through the treatment regime. What we used to find in the past was that people might use it well for 4 or 5 weeks, and then things happen, and you drop off, and maybe you use it more intermittently. So we just know that with the regime that we recommend, people will see great results, and we call it a bit of a challenge, because we're going to challenge our users to kind of post their results and talk with us.
Because it sounds like it might be difficult if it's a challenge. So it's not difficult.
No, we want to see who's got the best hair removed.
Okay.
So in terms of pictures and results, what we are going to do then is enter people into a competition. And being totally honest, some people may not see some results at first, and what we don't want them to be is frustrated, and get them to talk with other users. Anita is going to be online once a month just for our VIP members who are going to be on the challenge. So if, for instance, someone is not seeing the results, then the lady with the darker skin might be thinking that she's not seeing results yet, then Anita is there to sort of guide her along. So we've got a one-to-one contact. We're going to be sending automated emails to remind people. So as soon as they register, we know they're on a time clock. So every 2 weeks, we'll be sending them an email. And then we just want them to talk to us. And if the feedback is not entirely positive, that's fine. We want to deal with that and be, you know, an open and honest company that, you know, understands this technology better than anyone else. But we want our consumers to kind of come along with us. So this was a great way, you know, using the website for people to communicate directly with us.
Because you're quite heavily research-based here, aren't you? So any feedback, presumably, will feed into your research?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Mark is based in our Institute of Life Science, and we've got advanced research and development for our next innovations. So in about a year's time, we'll be sitting here again with our even more advanced product maybe. So I think all of that feedback is absolutely essential for Mark.
Absolutely, because the consumer base is a source of very rich information and data for us to inform our current and future research strategies.
Okay. And the final question is, how much does it cost? Because we've had a couple of, this one's more expensive, that's cheaper. How much is that one?
This is a recommended retail price of £399, but Boots being, you know, the fantastic partner they are, have really got on board in helping us support it. So they have helped us bring a £100 off offer. So it's £299 from Monday. Even in fact on .com may have been today.
Okay.
So it's £299 until after Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a good few months.
A good long-term offer. And again, if you were to compare the amount of shots, which is kind of the value equation, there isn't another device who can do 100,000 shots for pretty much under £449.
Okay. Those are all our questions at the moment. Yeah, no, that's the lot from our bloggers. So thank you very much for all the information you've given us today. Thank you to Professor Mark Clement, Mark Bolt and Anita Clarkson, my guests today. Also, if you want to take part in the 12-week challenge that Mark was talking about, you go to the iPulse website, yes? That's ipulse.co.uk, or you can find them on your Facebook page, which is facebook.com/iPulse. But that's it from us. Don't forget to keep your eye open for your invitation to the next webinar from iPulse, which will be sometime in November, so you should be getting that in your inbox. We'll see you then, but from us for now, goodbye, have a good afternoon.